to Russell Peltz. You're talking about that great era of the 70s, you know. You name a Philadelphia fighter around, from Matthew Saad Muhammad, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, Richie Cates, Jeff Chandler, you name them from this area. Russell Peltz has promoted. Just give us some insight about Philadelphia boxing, Atlantic City boxing. What does it take to put on such a great show?
Well, it's pretty close to impossible today. I was involved with Frank Gelb in those shows that Henry mentioned. There were no shows from 63 to 73, and that's true. And I worked with Frank Gelb. We ran shows early in 73 at the Convention Hall Ballroom, maybe 5 or 6 shows that year. I think Mike Rossman turned pro on one of those shows when he was 17. And we maybe run 3 or 4 shows a year at Convention Hall until casino gambling came, and Frank saw it before anyone did, and he basically parked himself down in Atlantic City, and he promoted that first show at Resorts with Howard Davis. I forget who televised it, CBS, ABC, whatever, and then every casino jumped on board. I mean, Atlantic City was the boxing capital of the world in the 1980s. I mean, for years I worked exclusively at the Sands, but I think I must have promoted it just about every casino in Atlantic City. And especially, I remember one year during the football strike, might have been 81 or 82, we had shows every Saturday and Sunday because the networks had no football on. They had to fill it up with something, and the casinos were paying big money. I was director of boxing at the Spectrum in Philly in the 70s, and then as we got to 78 and 79, and Atlantic City passed casino gambling, well, it killed boxing in Philly, because if you were going to promote a fight in Philly that was going to draw $100,000, $80,000, $90,000, you'd get a call from the head of a casino and say, Russell, we'll pay you $80,000 as a site fee. You put the fight in our 1,500-seat ballroom. We'll put the fighters up, give them free hotel rooms, feed them. We'll take care of security. We'll take care of the ring. So your only expenses at that point is the fighters' purses, because not only is the casino giving you a site fee, but the networks are paying you $30,000. It started $50,000, $100,000, $200,000. So you're getting that money from TV. You're getting money from the casino. You're not renting any place. You're not renting the Spectrum. You're not paying for ushers. You're not paying for security. So Atlantic City became the place, and every casino was fighting with every other casino to see who could pay the most for the fights. And it was crazy, 150 shows in Atlantic City in 1 year, and people didn't get tired of it. The problem was, as the years went on, the casinos were just buying anything. And then the crowd slowed down, it got oversaturated, and I can always sit here and say the casinos should have taken care of the city. That was the deal they made. To put some of the money they were getting from the state or whatever, put it into the city, and they never fixed up the city. So once you got off the boardwalk, you were in no man's land. And I think that's what really hurt not only Atlantic City boxing, but Atlantic City itself. Is boxing ever going to be like that again? No. It's never going to be like that again. First of all, in Atlantic City, because you've got competition now from almost every other state in the area with casinos. In those days, Atlantic City had the monopoly. They just didn't take advantage of it. They didn't fix up the city. So they can't compete now, or they don't have the monopoly. You had Foxwoods opened up, Mohegan Sun. Now you've got casinos all over Pennsylvania. But those were heady days. We had great fights and great fighters down here, and you could pay them, and they were making more money than they'd made in their lives. It may not compare to what's going on today, but what's going on today is an aberration. You can't even compare that, because there's no business model when somebody gives a promoter $500 million and tells you to go promote fights. I mean, some of these fighters today had to depend on the live gate to pay their purses, they'd starve. But hey, great for them that they're making this money, but